suitcase. She got the message and lifted it into the trunk herself. She set her backpack on the rear seat and grimaced at the tobacco stench. The driver accepted her sheet of paper, squinted at the address written in Greek, said something, and shook his head. She pointed to the address and spoke one of her few Greek phrases. "I want to go there." The driver grunted a response, which launched a coughing fit that lasted through starting the engine and setting off. As he drove around the square fronting the station, she noticed the beggars. They didn't swarm like the ones she had seen in documentaries about Africa or Indian subcontinent. These people held to a grim sense of place, sitting or squatting along the curb and the benches and the empty fountain. They lifted up packets of tissue or gum or single cigarettes. They were clumped together by race and culture. Africans formed a colorful mob, dressed in rainbow hues of mismatched jackets and trousers, and mittens and scarves and caps. The Greeks were mostly old, with faces so seamed their eyes vanished in the folds. Then came the largest group of all, swarthy and dark-eyed and bleak. The taxi driver scowled through his side window as he waited for the light to change and pretended to spit. "Gyptos." She recognized the word for gypsy, and at the same moment she noticed the pendant dangling from his rearview mirror. It was stamped with the political symbol for Golden Dawn, the neo-fascist organization that had pushed its way into Parliament with the last elections. Carey huddled deeper into her seat, stared at the rain-swept world beyond her window, and grimly held on to her dream. She was so glad to step out from the taxi that she didn't even flinch at the cost. She paid the man, ignored his frown over the lack of a tip, and hauled her case from the trunk. She recognized the Institute immediately. The stone building matched the image on their website. The taxi had already driven away by the time she noticed the chains wrapped around the gates, locked in place. The front drive passed through the stone pillars where she stood, swept through a front garden knee-high in weeds, and circled a dry fountain. Two of the Institute's ground-floor windows were broken, revealing internal bars. A trio of papers in transparent folders, lashed to the front gates with plastic ties, flapped in the wind. Carey stared through the gate at the broken windows and watched her dreams trickle away with the cold, wintry rain. Carey was shocked, from her stunned immobility, by a voice demanding, "What are you doing, standing there?" Carey swung around. "I have a job." "Here?" The young woman gestured angrily at the locked gates. No, you had a job. Your job is no more." Carey turned back to the gates. Her mind simply could not take it in. "I don't understand." "Of course you don't understand. How could you? I am Greek and I have lived here all my life and I understand nothing." The woman was about Carey's age, small and narrow, and yet strong enough to grip Carey's arm and turn her about. She grabbed the suitcase handle and wheeled it behind him. "A generation from now, I will gather with the other old women, and we will quarrel over how this happened." "I can't. There has to be somebody I can talk to." "Certainly, yes. There is me. Your name? It is Mathers, yes?" "Carey Mathers, how did... You think you're the only person who has been hit by the lightning bolt?" She waited for an opening in the traffic, then pulled Carey across the 6-lane road. "Look at the people there. See them in the doorway?" 4 young men huddled before a rusting accordion security door. They shared a cigarette and the shelter of the recessed doorway. The showroom windows to either side were shuttered as well, the steel covered with angry graffiti. "They worked for the Institute?" No, you are not thinking. The lightning bolt. It did not just strike the Institute, it is everywhere. It is Greece." The young men watched as the woman drew Carey into a taverna, the Greek version of a neighborhood restaurant. The men's dark gaze